This is a special match, yes, because we're shooting 100-year-old rifles, and it's the Springfield '03, which I shot, is one of the great classic rifles in history. They were the rifle of World War I. They were used in World War II and even used in Korea and sometimes even in Vietnam as sniper rifles because they were such well-built rifles firing the traditional 30-06. The rifle that I was shooting was a Springfield '03A3. That's the World War II version of the Springfield '03, which is the World War I version. And the difference is simply mostly the sight. But the World War I rifles actually had a little bit better machining on some of the butt plates and stuff. They're a little bit more collectible. The World War II sights are a little bit better to shoot. They were cranking them out pretty fast. They were very good rifles, but they machined some of the parts. And I say that, like butt plate and stuff like that, didn't affect the accuracy or the serviceability. They just don't look quite as elegant as some of the World War I rifles.
Well, elegant's a great word for the '03. And out here in this particular match today, well, actually, all this week, the '03 plays a pretty significant role along with the M1, Garand, and all the other rifles. Tell me about that.
Well, the '03 is you shoot it in this match. The other match that is particularly nice for the '03, on Sunday we'll shoot a sniper match. Shoot at 300 yards and 600 yards. And there are several different rifles that you can shoot in that match. I'm going to shoot an '03A3 with a World War II telescope on it. And at 600 yards, that 30-06 drops between 50 and 55 inches. So you're shooting at a small bullseye at 6 football fields with a World War I era cartridge. It's a lot of fun.
Rifles, these great wooden rifles here to celebrate D-Day. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we shoot the World War II rifles because of D-Day. Obviously, the M1 Garand was the rifle of D-Day. There's no question about it. It's the rifle that Patton said he praised it as one of the finest military inventions ever built. And in World War II, U.S. Troops had a semi-automatic 8-clipped M1 Garand. Most of our competitors had bolt-action rifles, gave our troops a firepower advantage. The M1 is a classic rifle. And so the match, the D-Day match, is built around the M1 and the other rifles that were used in World War II era because it commemorates that historic event.
Great guns, very relevant to the CMP as well.
The CMP was basically built on the M1 Garand. It was we got those in surplus, and the history of that is the M1s were never given to other countries. They were on loan to other countries, Denmark, Turkey, South Korea, many more. But they were on loan because we didn't want them to ever get into the wrong hands. So as they became obsolete when the M14 and the M16 became the military rifles, they came back to the United States. But the CMP brought them back, and we brought them back. We paid for bringing them back. We paid for cleaning them and testing them and making sure everyone is serviceable. And so about 6 million of them were made. I don't know what the total that we've brought back, but we've brought millions of them back, refurbished them, and put them back in circulation to people like me that love the tradition of that rifle, the history of that rifle, and love to shoot it in matches.
So let me ask you about your personal connection with this, with the CMP and this match, and tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I was on the board for many years. I was the vice chairman when I left at age 77. So now I'm just an enthusiastic supporter of the CMP. But I'm going to be 83 this year, and I still shoot in matches, and I have a lot of fun. And they're great people, great coaches, great shooting system here. So, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun.
Well, I would venture to guess that you've seen some changes.
I've seen a lot of changes. When the CMP, when I first went on the board, it was 90% sale of rifles. Now, I don't know what the percent of sale of rifles is, way less than 50%. It is largely safety and marksmanship now, with not only the historical rifles, but we have air rifles. We work with kids. We work with JROTC. We are in the safety business. We like to think that every kid in this country would be exposed to safety with a firearm, because let's face it, kids in our country are going to get exposed to cars and they're going to get exposed to firearms, and we want them to be safe.
Look at this magnificent park. Tell me a little bit about what it's like to be here versus what you may have seen in earlier days.
Before we built this park, we looked at parks all over this country and some in other countries. Many, if not most, of the shooting ranges were built because somebody wanted, let's build us a range. A bunch of folks got together. Oh, we could have a shotgun range over here. Or, this park was designed ground up to be one that we could shoot on all of our 14 different ranges, not counting archery and other, but we can shoot simultaneously. And it was designed from that up. It was built 10 years ago. It's amazing what you can do with 500 acres of rural Alabama if you spend $20-some million, which is what we did.
Yeah, and it's being put
And it's
to
a
great-
world-class range. It truly is. And part of that is because of the electronic targets, which were state-of-the-art when we did it. A lot of places have them now, but nobody has to go down range. You don't paste targets, you don't go down. So it's safe, and it's a lot more fun, particularly for young people who don't have the patience to shoot, go cold, go paste targets, come back, look at it. No, you shoot and you look at the monitor, you know exactly where you hit. Well, again, I'd say our country is a shooting country. It is. That's just the way it is. In World War II, one of the Japanese who had lived in the United States said, "We'll never invade the United States because everybody there has a rifle." And that's not far from true. There are about as many rifles as there are people in this country. So, unlike other countries, we have a history. And let's do it safely. Let's teach our kids safety. Let's make sure that they're, just like wearing the seatbelt in the car. You don't let your kid get in the car without putting the seatbelt on. Don't let them grow up without knowing the safety rules of firearms, whether they choose to shoot or not.